Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today from the Modern King. Jordan Peterson regrets trying to stop men going their own way. Let's check this out. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
Is there an instance where you feel you said something that appeared to be true to you at the time, and knowing what you know?
Yes, I think I was a little dismissive of the men going their own way, because I think I called them pathetic weasels, and I had my reasons for that. My reasons were, roughly speaking, that
Who are the men going their own way, just for context?
Well, they're a group of people, mostly on the net, who have had...
And shout outs to Mr. Jordan Peterson for admitting publicly that he misinterpreted our movement. Like, very few people in such high echelons of media or whatever it is are willing to admit fault, admit that they've done something wrong. Shout outs to the man.
Who've been burned in their relationships, or who conceptualize themselves as having been burned in their relationships, and they believe that the legal structure in particular in Western countries is so tilted against men, particularly in family dispute situations and divorce settlement, that it's safer for men not to establish permanent relationships with women, not to cohabit with them, ever. And they're a large movement.
Yes.
Now, how large they are, I don't know, but they're large enough.
I want to say we're probably close to maybe 25%, like 1/4 of men have gone about MGTOW, maybe around 1/4. That's my guesstimation, just from what I've seen, you guys, and online content. I could be completely wrong, but my own guesstimation.
And they have what I would regard as an undue influence over relatively bitter and resentful young men who haven't had great success in the dating market and who are looking for a rationale to write off all women because they're so hurt by their continual rejection. And that is not good for those young men. And so the reason that I disparaged the men going their own way was because I had seen the pernicious effect. These are often...
I guess how Jordan saw it is, see, this is why I love listening and watching people that are smarter than me, because I'm fucking dumb, but how he saw it, I can see that. I can see that us telling young men to not deal with women and to not, get in relationships, just to focus on yourself and do all these things, it usually is not the betterment of society. I can 100% agree with that take on things, but I'm a men's channel. I'm a man myself. I've gone through a lot of these things that you guys have gone through. I just want to protect the best of what the left. I want to protect what's good left of the men that are there.
Often older guys. The pernicious effect of their world-weary philosophy on young men. Now, these guys think that they're just warning them, and they are warning them, but they're not just warning them. Now, the reason I regret calling them pathetic weasels is because they also have a point. I do believe that the court systems are staggeringly anti-male, absurdly, horribly anti-male. And I've seen my own clients, some of them who are really, really decent, hardworking, family-oriented people, demolished by the court systems. And so the men going their own way have a point. And so I'm sorry that I called them pathetic weasels, but I outlined my reasons. And so, yes, I do regret that. I have to be careful because...
Thank you, Mr. Jordan Peterson. I accept the apology, because the way he thought about it was not saying that we're just assholes or whatever. No, he saw it as, the way he saw it. So.
I do have a dark satirical sense of humor, and I can utter epithets, let's say, for the sake of punctuating a point, while simultaneously forgetting that 150,000 people will listen to it. So I regret that.
I have a funny clip of Peterson I'll show next, but to comment on his video, People often see men going their own way as one thing, when in reality it's different for every man, since
Correct.
all it is a philosophy. A philosophy that prioritizes self-preservation. To give examples, some men choose to get passports. Some men choose to only date religious women. Some men choose to stop dating women entirely. Some men choose to date but not get married. Some men choose to not have kids. People disagree with it because they don't understand what it is.
Shout outs to Modern King for that list of explanation right there. You're right. He's right. Men going their own way is their own thing. Just like MGTOW used to be somewhat like, oh, why are you passport bros? But they understand that being a passport bro is men going their own way. We're not dealing with the Western laws, divorce. We'd rather you'll find women that will fit what we're looking for, and the laws are much better for us. And money is better too.
But even those that disagree still agree with a lot of the main points, despite their general lack of understanding of what men going their own way actually means. Now, let's take a look at that funny clip. But keep in mind this video is edited, and he did not actually say these things.
Women are a tremendous amount of responsibility and trouble because they can't do anything. And you have to be like seriously in love with them to do right by them. They get resentful and bitter and passive aggressive, and they take things out on their subordinates, and you know, it's like mayhem and no time flat, and nothing works. Like if they don't make the hair stand up in the back of your neck, you are not paying attention. They're full of flaws. They act badly. They're a cancer on the face of the planet. It'd be better if they didn't exist at all. It's like,
damn, they chopped this up to make it sound super harsh against women. Holy.
you don't have to put up with any unpleasant, you don't have to put up with any unnecessary, unpleasant nonsense from women. It's not necessary.
True.
You could compare their behavior in some ways to pack animals like dogs, which is why they like dogs and get along with dogs. They understand each other, you know.
You think they're really missing sort of like a key component of what life is, right?
I do. I really believe that. I mean, I think that it's like if you took random sets of men and women out of the population and you said, you bet on who was more passive aggressive. If you bet on the woman, you'd be right 60% of the time. Mm-hmm. But that's a significant difference.
The proof is in the pudding, so to speak.
Well, if you're not willing to accept that sort of thing as proof, you got to also ask, like, well, okay, what would you allow to falsify your theory?
The hate speech never ends with you, huh?
Yeah, I know.
It's just endless.
It's one
All right.
thing after another.
Because if you were actually thinking about your family, the last thing you would do is leave a man who you say is a perfect man and break up his family, break up your children's relationship with a father, and take a bunch of money, unless you didn't actually give a shit about that.
I completely agree with him. I just disagree with the way that he's saying it.
What?
The tone.
But
I completely agree with you.
The reason why it's so frustrating to have women inside of men's spaces immediately is because it's always tone policing bull.
And you agree with him?
Who cares about
That's
tone
crazy.
policing?
Why do you think tone policing?
Who cares about tone policing?
Because it's about the approach on how you
No,
talk to
it's
someone.
not. It's about what's being said, not how you interpret it.
No,
That's
that's not true.
Actually,
Yeah, that's just a
intention lies within your
It's just a bunch
tone.
of feminist bullshit.
But on the
No,
plus
I'm not a
side,
feminist.
We care about things differently.
Then why are you tone
One
policing?
at a time, one person at a time, one person at a time.
You know, probably one of my favorite creators right now, like literally top creator for me, is Andrew Wilson. I really like the man. I really like his principles. He's super religious. I am not, but I understand his religious viewpoints. He explains it very, very well, more than almost any other religious person I've ever met. It's so hard for these people to, convey their faith and convey the reasoning for their faith, but he does a very good job of it, and he does it in such a way that he is defending men. He is defending the viewpoints of men, and even the viewpoints of men that aren't religious. That's why I like this man.
Come over now, Johnny. It's about that. I'm going to say it exactly how it needs to be said.
Hold up. Go around the table. Raise your hand if you're a feminist, because I'm not.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute.
They don't care about the truth. They care about how it makes them feel. If you said 2 + 2 = 4, but they didn't like how you said it or how it made them feel, they would say you're wrong.
It's 4! And I'm like, why are you yelling at me? It's not 4. Why'd you have to say it that way?
Proud feminist.
Okay, so by us saying that we tend to want to agree with you, but if we could just deliver it in a way
If
that
we could
actually...
just get you to do it how we want.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's no interrupting, right? Remember, there's no interrupting?
If we're having a conversation with each
If you
other.
could say something and we can agree with you, but let's say it in a way that actually makes a difference, then you're, town police, town police.
Okay, but
We're
I
not
disagree
tone
with
policing you. We're saying,
How
we
could
agree.
it not be
Your
a tone
delivery
police
matters.
if you literally are saying to me, I agree with what you say, I just don't agree with the tone in which you
That's
say
not how
it.
she said it. That's
No,
not how she
I
said
said I
it.
agree with what you're saying. I don't like how
it's being
you're
delivered.
delivering.
Right.
You know,
You don't
just
like
the
the tone. It's
tone.
literally tone
What did you
policing.
say? That was
Nothing. They all agree with me. They
it's-
don't.
No,
They don't like
no,
the
we
delivery.
don't really say that.
Yeah.
See, listen, now they don't fully agree with him because of the tone policing, but they agree with his point. See, this is so bullshit.
Fully say that.
No, I just don't like the deliveries.
For girls who are engaged, I have a serious question. If you have a 3-carat diamond or above, I need your advice. I want a 3-carat diamond. I love the size. Sometimes I look at it though when I'm in store and I'm like, I think it's too big. Is a 3-carat diamond too big or bigger? And I need to know, like, in practical everyday life, should I go a hairline under 3 carats?
Why are they talking about these things? You don't even have a fucking man. You don't even have anything leading to a relationship, a man or marriage, but the first thing you think about is a diamond ring, how big it needs to be, or if it's too big. This is why marriages fail.
My brain can't wrap its way around it being smaller than 3 carats.
The internet is mad at this woman for saying that she deserves a $75,000 engagement ring. Watch.
How much do you want your husband, future husband, to spend on a ring on you, engagement ring?
Easily 75.
$75,000. That's a whole truck. As a matter of fact, the median income all the way across the board from the very richest to the very poorest is $74,580 here in the United States. And
much?
she wants more than that, 1 year's pay, more than that on her finger. But here's why she wants it.
75. Why is that?
That's what I deserve.
She deserves it. So they must both be rich, right? Let's find out what they do. Especially since he's the one that's going to be buying the engagement ring.
For a living.
Okay.
I'm majoring in counting. I could make that.
She says she's majoring in counting or counseling. This isn't counseling, but it sounds like she said accounting.
I heard
And she
accounting,
can make
yeah.
that easy. Well, let's find out what he does.
What do you do, living? Doctor. You're a doctor? Yeah. Are you studying to be a doctor? Going to med school. I applied to med school.
All right, I don't know if you caught that, but he says, what do you do for a living? He says, doctor. And then he
You're not a
asks,
doctor,
you're a
bro.
doctor? Are you studying to be a doctor? And he says, yeah, I applied to med school. So he's not even a doctor. He applied
He's paying shitloads of money to go to med school.
to go and study to become a doctor.
Correct.
So he hasn't even got to the studying part to become a doctor.
I guarantee women would not be saying they deserve these extremely expensive rings if they were the ones that had to buy it.
Shout outs to Monarch King. He's 100% correct. They deserve these things, guys, but why don't they ever buy it for themselves? Please subscribe down below. Really appreciate that. Catch you guys next time. Ciao.